Okay. We're back with Draugen. Brave nice princesses and princesses, and we are off to explore things. We were expecting that. We already drew that. Where do we go from here? I have no idea. So we press this button. Okay, so there's...
A boat! Teddy! A hot dog! This is our ticket out of here!
Not without Betty. Besides, there's a hole in this boat. It'll sink before it gets 10 yards from shore. It's curious. The state of the boats. It's like they stopped taking care of them.
Seems short-sighted. How would they fish? Or get anywhere at all?
I don't think they planned on going anywhere. And also, we could chop down a tree, dude. Like, seriously.
What's this?
Remnants of the mining operation.
What, mine?
There was a mine here, but it closed down 20 years ago.
I was just checking for a sense of humor.
Mine.
Nowhere to be found.
Till Min Om. It's a memorial. 3 men died when the mine collapsed in 1902. Georg Hatlestad.
Clouds are not helping.
Arne Fretland.
See, this is what working a regular job. Did you say Fretland?
The younger brother who was mentioned in the article. The newspaper said the accident forced the mine to shut down.
What does any of this have to do with us?
I still don't know why Elizabeth came here.
Perhaps she
And you think it has something to do with this mine?
Or with what it did to the village. Maybe. He was just 19.
How long had he been working in the mine? That's too young for a dirty job like digging into rock.
We're in the real world, Lissy. Most teeners don't have the luxury to idle away their days with games and witty repartee.
Ouch.
Oof. Yeah, I have a feeling she came here. I'm just saying this now too.
What did they use this for?
Bringing the ore down from the
Right
mine
on the
before it was
mine.
loaded onto boats.
So, diamonds? Gold? Or just boring old silver?
Iron ore.
Or what?
Rock, which contains iron
I know.
deposits that...
Okay, Edward. I don't understand why they just leave this here. Like an altar to adversity. It's creepy.
Rustic superstition. Perhaps they believed they'd attract bad luck if they moved it.
Where do these tracks lead?
To the mine. Where else would they go?
I don't know. A castle up in the mountains where the frost giants live? And this is how they receive their monthly offering of meat from the villagers. Goat, I hope.
Honestly, this person's a keeper.
No trespassing for traitors.
Cool. Want to jump the gate and explore what's on the other side? What do you say, Olds?
The sign says no trespassing for a reason.
Come on! There may be trolls, or at least more houses. Where's your sense of adventure, old sport? Don't you want to see where these tracks go?
Plus, no one's
Had
here.
enough adventure on this side of the fence. Besides, they wrote no trespassing for a reason.
You're such a terrible bore, Teddy Bear. I'll wager 1,000 clams you'll jump this gate at some point, if you believe Betty's on the other side.
Frederick Fretland. Who are these traitors he refers to?
What now? We've looked everywhere.
There really doesn't seem to be anyone around.
Maybe we missed something. An important clue. How about the general store?
Yeah.
We haven't been inside yet.
It looked deserted, but worth another look, I guess.
Okay, back to the store we go. Are you coming, or are you gonna just stand there?
What if everyone turned into a pebble?
Man, I keep missing dialogue and it bothers me. Which means this game has replayability, which I like. What are you doing, bird?
Is that? Lizzie, come here. It's Betty's hat. She was here. She could still be in there. Betty? Betty!
Are you sure, Edward? I mean, it's just a hat. Is it even a hat? I'm not
I
sure.
know my sister's hat, Lizzie. I have to get inside.
What about the breaking and entering part?
I could care less what they call it.
Okay. Yeah, you're not gonna let me live this down. I know it. Can we just have a rock? A rock to bust. Oh, hello.
Here's an open window.
You seem eager to break the law. I approve.
It won't budge.
Ah, don't be a milquetoast.
Well, it's stuck.
Attaboy, Teddy. You can do this.
Come on, Teddy. Don't let a little door break you.
I can't believe I'm actually breaking... Whoops, Daisy.
Oh my, Teddy. You're such a sap.
Doesn't even help me up. Feels bad, man.
Edward Charles Harden. Dilettante. World traveler. Cat burglar.
A cat burglar would, by definition, enter a building on a higher
Jeez.
floor.
The state of this place.
Oh, Betty.
Edward.
I hope you weren't here when...
Is this... blood?
Not necessarily human blood.
Well, that's alright then. What does it say? Barn murder? Someone murdered a barn?
Barn means child. And mortar, that's...
Child murder. Edward, they murdered a child?
Someone thought so.
Probably the same someone who vandalized the store.
That's a big mood. Just in case we have to come back here. Don't mind me as I rummage through all your stuff.
Out of order.
Why hasn't it been fixed?
Perhaps there wasn't much demand for it anymore.
That's a big oof.
S-O-S. Oh boy. If only this thing worked. We could order a boat to come get us. Or, even better, order some hot grub.
It's like ordering back in the day pizza.
These were never sent.
How long have they been piling up?
I received Mrs. Fretland's letter in June. And they received my letter from July.
A couple of months. Perhaps the world forgot about Grovik. It's been cut. Why?
To remove someone from the picture.
That's just rude.
It's from the opening of the mine in 1897. That's Frederick, Johann's brother.
And the boy could be the younger brother who died.
Frederick clearly did not want anything to do with his twin brother.
Interesting. Nope, I don't want to drink bingo. That stuff is disgusting. I'm talking as if I know what that stuff is in this game.
Damnation. The hat's in here.
Calm down, old boy. Anyway, how's a hat going to help us?
Who knows what else is in here? There could be more clues.
Alright, okay. Everything's Jake. We made it into the store. I'm sure we'll find a way through that door.
She just rhymed, and it's incredible.
Why would Frederick keep a list of what he calls traitors?
What did they do to him?
Cross him in some way. Why else keep a shit undesirables?
He caught himself. Nice. Nice, Edward. Glad you're trying to keep it. Keep it.
What are you doing?
Looking for keys.
Your life of crime continues.
There's a note.
Is it written in Viking runes? What does it say?
It's from Simon. Casa. I don't know what that word means. Yai put it means I put. Nurkel is key.
He put the key in the casa?
Casa. I wish I had my dictionary. The note's addressed to his father.
So the key was moved. But where to?
Somewhere safer. Or more convenient.
Can we really trust your translations? You only started studying a month ago.
I spent the summer reading, and I had a lot of free time on the ocean voyage.
Come on, how much could you possibly pick up in a few months?
You know my mind, it's a sponge.
Kessa. What does that sound like to me? Kessa.
Casa.
So that's what it means. Cash register. You're a genuine gangster now, old fruit. Don't worry. If you get busted, I'll come visit you in the big house. The Vandals weren't here for the money.
I think money was the last thing on their minds.
Wasn't there supposed to be a key?
Here it is.
I'm timidly picking it up as if it's a crime too. I mean, at this point. Well,
It is her hat.
Teddy, I'm not sure
Betty
that's...
was here, and not long ago.
Okay, but if that is her hat, what's it doing in a locked storeroom?
Another breadcrumb.
That's not an answer.
I know for sure she was here. That's what matters.
You know best, Edward. So, what now? If this is a breadcrumb, where's the next one?
There must be a reason her hat's in this room.
I'm looking at it, Edward.
What's that?
A handwritten note.
I'm not blind. What does it say, you silly goose?
It's hard to read. I'm not sure my translation will be... Johann, you... Nectar. Refuse. You refuse to speak to me, so I write this letter instead. It's from Frederick Fretland to his brother. Simon did not... Bloody hell. Simon did not murder your Ruth. He was fond of his cousin.
Ruth. Ruth is the daughter of Anna and Johann, which means the little girl in the photograph at the farmhouse. Oh, Edward. The Fretland girl was murdered. This is simply awful.
Simon was working at the farm while I tended to the store. I would have seen him had he passed on the way up to the cliffs.
They thought Simon killed Ruth. His own cousin.
Wow.
Ruth was... what's that word? Playing. Ruth was always playing on the rocks below the church. She must have fallen by accident. The note ends there. Frederick never finished it. And Johann never read it. Not that it would have made a difference. If Johann thought...
The mob showed up for Simon. His father would have tried to protect him.
September 17th. You would have been here, Betty.
Rocks below the church. Isn't the church right above us? Edward, come look at this. That's the cliff. Right there. The one in the note? I bet you 1,000,000 clams.
What's with you and clams?
See for yourself.
I guess that could be where...
Let's check it out.
No, Lissy, wait.
Better chase after her.
This way. I found it, Teddy. The cliff. I'm standing right below it.
What are you doing? This doesn't concern
A
us.
little girl died. We're staying in her home, for God's sake. Are you completely without heart? Get yourself up here, Edward Harden, right this minute.
Okay.
Come on, it's an easy climb.
This looks very dangerous.
Oh, you're a big boy. Start acting like it. It's not Mount Everest.
I don't know about this. Whoops-a-daisy.
I'm never gonna get over their little ways of saying things. It's great. Hello.
What is this?
Where little Ruth died.
You're being morbid. And this is a distraction. I'm here for Betty, not because some girl got
Edward.
herself...
You insensitive brute. You're like the Tin Woodman, no heart. You know, you've grown cold and mean in that horrid study of yours. With only books and bugs to keep you company for years and years and years. There are other people in this world, you know. It's not all about you.
Oh.
Please look at me when I'm talking to you. You're going to do this. If not for Ruth, then for us. We're going to figure out what happened to the poor girl. Together.
That's been here a while.
Didn't you say it happened over a month ago?
You'd think her family would have replaced it with fresh flowers.
That lecture she gave us, though.
Is that blood?
The girl could have hit her head on that rock. There would have been plenty of blood.
That's awful.
Something struck this bush. She must have landed on it when... on her way down.
That's ghastly, Edward.
Gee. Horrible.
Where are you going?
This way. That's... Game? Why'd you...
Teddy,
The game's turning me around. Okay, let's see. Rock, check. Flowers, check. Damage, check.
You did not.
Is that blood?
The girl could have hit her head on that rock. There would have been plenty of blood.
That's awful. I think there's something behind it. Can you move the rock aside?
It's a doll.
It must be Ruth's.
Where's the head?
Maybe the killer also decapitates dolls.
Hold on. This pin. This is old. Very old. Looks like something from the Viking era.
We are in the land of Vikings.
This could be 1,000 years old. It does not belong on a child's doll.
Who cares? Ruth is dead and you're obsessing about a rusty old pin? Let's go further up. Maybe we'll find more clues. Come on, old sport. It's not far.
Can you wait just 1 minute so that I can catch my breath? Huh.
Nope, she can't.
Did you follow the same path, Betty? Or am I just stumbling through darkness?
You can see clear beyond the edge of the world.
1
Oh,
second.
teddy bear. We need to take you out walking more often.
So, the girl fell from up here.
Was pushed, you mean?
So-
Can you see where she fell? Seeing as you're so concerned about me falling out of trees, I wouldn't want to risk falling off a cliff.
Yeah.
If she fell headfirst on that rock, she'd have died instantly.
Edward, honestly.
You wanted to learn more. This is you learning more.
Eh.
She hit her head and fell into the bush where I found her doll. Happy now, Alice?
I'm not. What was she doing up here in the first place?
Playing? She was a child. Children play in dangerous places.
There must be more to it. Let's find out where this path leads.
No, absolutely not. I don't have time for this nonsense. We're running out of daylight, and Betty's still... You're still out there.
I don't mind exploring. I'm okay with this.
Lissy, slow down. I can't keep up with you. Who knows what's up there? It's not worth the risk of falling and breaking something. Lissy? Are you there?
Oh.
Teddy,
My word. Look away, Lissy.
is this what happened to the villagers? They killed themselves?
It's one body. Let's not jump to conclusions.
What about those fresh graves at the church? There were at least half a dozen of them. Did everyone just die?
They're not necessarily connected.
Oh, come on. This is just gap. What does that say?
God forgive me.
Don't suicides go to hell? Isn't that what your father said when
Stop.
your mother
Don't.
drowned herself?
Oof.
Sorry. Do you think this has something to do with Ruth? Maybe she came across the hanged man before she died, and it scared her. So she ran,
No.
and
This happened later.
there's some consolation in that, I guess. Maybe it's the killer. The guilt ate him up, and he offed himself.
That's just speculation with no basis in fact.
Who was he? One of the Fretlanders?
It's not Johann or Frederick. And he's too old to be Simon. There's nothing more to do here. I'm going back. Let the poor soul rest in peace.
Does it look like
peace
he's
is spelled
resting in
wrong.
peace?
No.
You're just going to leave him hanging? You're an insensitive brute.
I'm here for Betty. this is... It's tragic, but really none of my concern.
Oh, Betty, Betty, Betty. Always just Betty. You don't care about anyone else. What if that was me up there?
And the arm.
And all you do is obsess over a scarf.
Man, she's really hammering me.
Look at me when I'm talking to you.
Sorry.
All right. All you do is obsess over a scarf and a hat and ugh.
It's all I have of Betty.
Betty, there she is again. Edward, the hanged man, he's someone. No matter what he did or didn't do, he deserves respect. Would you please just do this one decent deed? If not for me, then for yourself. Or for your Betty. What are you doing? You can't just pull him down by his legs. Try loosening the noose.
I can't reach that far. I'm going to be sick. I can't do this.
Yes, you can. Teddy. Edward. I know you can. You've been through much worse. Where are the Fretlands, Edward?
It's been 2 days. If they're not back tonight,
They're not coming back.
perhaps they left after their daughter died.
Was murdered, you mean? Isn't that what we think happened?
She was probably murdered.
And you think Simon did it?
Your guess is as good as mine. It could have been an accident.
You're really not helping.
Can we talk about this tomorrow? I'm sorry.
You're exhausted.
I buried a corpse today, Alice.
I know. I'm sorry. Why don't you sleep in the guest bedroom?
The couch is fine. The Fretlands could still come home.
All right. Just don't come crying to me if you wake up with a crick in your neck. I'll be up for a while, if you feel like talking.
Oh, in the kitchen. Oh, hold on, hold on, hold on. Seen an odd letter today addressed to Johannes from an American gentleman, Mr. Edward Hardin of Hanover, Massachusetts. The letter was well written and very polite. Mr. Hardin received our information from the Alsund police when he requested a contact in Gravik. I do wonder why they gave him Johann's name and not Frederick's, perhaps because our dear Margaret is no longer with us, and I'm prepared to respond in English. Then Frank. Mr. Hardin inquired about Sister Elizabeth Hardin, who's traveling on her own. Apparently she's a journalist. Imagine that, crossing the Atlantic Ocean to write about Norway. It sounds wonderful. The letter said Elizabeth telegraphed her brother from Alsund to inform him that she planned to visit Norway. Why she'd want to come to this dreary old place, I have no idea. That there is nothing worth writing about anymore. His sister has not yet arrived. Jada would have tired out with questions about America. Being a journalist and traveling the world on her own, she sounds so interesting. I hope she does come, even though she Surely be bored out of our mind. I'll write Mr. Hardin today. Johann is not comfortable writing letters, especially in English. He agrees that we should invite Mr. Hardin to stay here if he decides to come. After all, there are no guest houses in Gravik, and his room is rarely used. Also, I have to admit, being a visitor from America sounds terribly exciting. This morning I had boiled egg and burnt and buttered toast after Johann told me I was being silly and that I do not need to lose any weight, seeing that we're not in London. No one cares. I wrote Mr. Hardin to invite him to stay at the house. If he decides to come, I'm terribly excited. I do work for sister. I wonder where she could be. There was an argument in the shop earlier today. Frederick was yelling at poor Astrid, claiming their goats had been grazing on his land. I wanted to speak up, but knew it'd only make him angrier. Johann went across the forward this morning to purchase some necessities, including new fabrics, and to pick up the post. The letters have been piling up in the store. As soon as worried, the world has completely forgotten about us. I finished another dress today. It's one for myself. There are no customers anymore. No one here needs another dress, and it's been ages since we visited the city. I hardly know anyone there, and who would want their dresses made in Gravik, where they can have one tailored in Osland. I feel lonely today. I miss my dear Margaret so much after all these years. I think Ruth is hiding something from me. She's been awfully secretive. She goes off on her own, even more than usual, and her clothes are filthy. I don't mind her playing and exploring, of course. I always did regret Margaret and I not being allowed to run free when we were little. Ruth says she's looking for flowers and pretty rocks. I shouldn't worry so much. Simon stopped by today with a gift for Ruth, a whole bar of chocolate. Nice. He is a sweet boy, but Frederick would be furious. I asked Ruth if she plays up by Frederick's farm or near the old mine. She promised she doesn't. I've never had a reason not to trust her, but I still feel she's hiding something from me. I looked at their drawings while she saw she's got such an imagination. Received another letter from Mr. Hardin. He'll be here in October, just as planned. Look forward to having someone else to speak with, if only for a few days. Now that Johann is in good company, we have little conversations, but outside of our daily routines. There's been no sign of Mr. Hardin's sister yet. If she left Osland weeks ago, where could she be? She may well have decided to stop along the way. We've heard nothing, but we so rarely speak with anyone inside Gravik these days. I do hope she's alright. I would hate for Mr. Hardin to come all this way to no avail. Ruth is still being secretive. I know she's hiding something. One of these days I will follow her. No church service again today. The vicar hasn't been back since the memorial service in July. Johann believes he won't be back. That he's going out on Gravik just like everyone else. I think of going down with the cold. Someone damaged our boat during the night. That's the third one this month. Johann suspects Frederick, of course. I fear something's bubbling to the surface again after all these years. I'm not at all feeling well and spent most of today in bed. Ruth was sweet and brought me potato soup and tea with honey and milk. September 18th, 1923. She has left us. Our dearest Ruth is gone. I can't believe it was someone's doing. He, too, is now gone. With him, all hopes Gravik had left in it.
The two brothers married twin sisters, Anna and Margaret Taylor. That's the Grovik stave church behind them.
All those hopes and dreams, ground to dust by misfortune. It's the same photograph we saw in the store.
Except this one's whole.
So the brother who owns the store,
Frederick,
was angry with Johann before Ruth. Because
of the mine. It all comes back to the mine. Johann and Frederick Fretland. Thick as thieves, before things took a turn.
Don't you always say that much of our pain is self-chosen?
I wonder about that.
The mine must have been a big deal for Greywoke.
Grovik. An opportunity to do more than live hand to mouth.
What a blow it must have been to lose it all.
Vote to place the hat.
What are you doing?
Betty will want these back.
I don't think it's healthy.
Not now, please. I'm exhausted.
There we go. Now we can. at 14 frames per second.
Quite the day, huh?
I'm ready to pass out. Where will you sleep?
I'll be up for a while. My mind's simply racing.
Don't stay up late. Wake me if you hear the Fretlins arriving.
Of course. And I'll keep my eyes open for any ghosts that might want to haunt you in your sleep.
There are no.
Hush now. Sleep.
Okay. Right, so when we come back, guys, more about Scam. Until then, leave a like and subscribe because I always move for more. Thanks for video. Goodbye, everyone.